Welcome to the latest episode of the Dozcast. Today I've got Huddersfield's own Italian stallion, Emiliano Castroni. How are we doing, my brother?
Thank you for having me, bro. I feel like we spoke about this in the car a while ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, that's you need to crack on with it, man. Just get going. And you were like, yeah, you're right.
That
And here
was
we
the
are.
that was the kick up the ass I needed. I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think because like what we'll speak about in a bit. I
Yeah.
think knowing that you're someone who has like gone with an idea and just gone with it, to hear
hmm
it from you to say, you need to just do it. That's what I needed. And
Sometimes you need just that push off, one of your close friends that's just like, you know what, it's right. I just need, sometimes you just need to just crack on and just start, just
yeah,
get going. Kind of like you got back going with Two Bros as well. Like that, it's good to see you back doing that, doing what you and Marco do best, man. Because
hmm
think of all the people that said to you, what's happened, man? Where have you gone?
yeah, enough people. I think it is like the first that first jump. Once you've done that, I think
Yeah,
that's
man.
it. Do you know what I mean?
I listened to your first one. I was like, yeah, it's just gonna roll now. It's just gonna be easy
Yeah,
for you.
yeah,
Just need to get started in it. But here we are.
yeah, man. Before we start, I just want to thank everyone who has given the podcast a chance so far. My audience is at like 250 people right now.
Wow, well
Mad.
done.
6 different
Great.
countries, global.
Jesus, let's get Italy on the map now, bro.
This is what I want. This is it. This is why I brought you on. Just because I want
Yeah,
Italy,
man.
man. Them there.
Allora, sentiamo un po' italiano che parliamo un po' italiano con la gente oggi, va bene? So,
You speak fluent,
because
yeah? Fluent
yeah,
Italian.
yeah, yeah. Fluent, bro.
Calm. You're gonna have to do
I've
an
just let
outro for me at the
I've
end,
just
yeah?
let man know. I've just let man know already in it. Like, just come listen. Even if you don't know what we're saying, just come listen.
Right. I want to start with obviously for people that don't know you, I'll just give you a quick roundup. So you have your own coffee distributor. Is that the right
Yes,
terminology?
I'm a coffee. Yeah, I distribute coffee up and down the country, as if I'm like a wholesaler for coffee shops, bars, restaurants, in hospitality basically. So anything they need in terms of like what a coffee shop would use, for example, like coffee beans, chocolate, chai, tea,
Hmm.
syrups, everything a coffee shop would ever need when you go in and order a coffee.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can supply these shops with that.
And obviously a little bit of a rapping career as well.
A little bit, little bit.
We'll go into more depth on this. I'm just giving people a general just
Yeah,
overview.
man.
And then obviously new dad, a relatively new dad
Big
as
happy
well,
lifestyle now.
which we'll get into as well. But I want to start with the rapping thing, if that's all right.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
First question is like how did it start? How did it come about? And when did it start?
So it all came around when I was probably about 12, 13, and I was hanging around with a few people in Galker at the time. Um, and they were all like, spitting bars, and I'd just be like listening in, and I'm thinking, wow, this is amazing, man.
Hmm.
So at the time, obviously I never really wrote music, but I'd always listened to rap music, and I'd always loved it, and grime and everything.
Hmm.
So I immediately thought to myself, like, one day I'm just gonna be chilling with these man, and I'm just gonna bust out like a little 8 bar, and I'm just gonna surprise everyone one day. So went home, got my pad and pen out, old school style. Tend to write on my phone these days, but
Yeah.
um, wrote this like 8 bar. Obviously, so shocking, the worst bar ever. Like talking about some mad stuff that never done in my life. But anyways, I was 12, 13, just trying to fit into this like little group I was like chilling with at the time. So
Hmm.
wrote this at late bar, and from that, obviously, I then was out with my friends and we were all chilling and they're rapping, I'm listening, and I'm like, right, you man, I'm gonna jump in now. I've got a little something for you, and then was like, no way. I'm like, yeah, yeah. Obviously, beats going, jump in now, do a little 8 bar, which probably lasts about 15, 20 seconds. Which, don't get me wrong, nerves are kicking in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
You know what
Sweating,
I mean? Like,
sweating.
yeah, proper. You think I have the heavy and all that. You know what I mean? Like proper sweating.
Oh.
Um, and yeah, did this 8 bar, and man, like, Ras, like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then from that, just seeing people's reaction to me, obviously doing a bit of music and writing some lyrics, which to me at the time was a bit like it was just off the cuff, really. Like I didn't really think much into it at the
Yeah.
time. And yeah, just it all stemmed from that moment of just being a kid and trying to kind of fit into my group, and yeah, all stemmed from there, really.
So you said that you were listening to rap at the time. Who would you say like was the main influence? Like,
I would say when I was young, it were like obviously we used to just download instrumentals off LimeWire.
yeah. Oh, damn
and
it.
yeah, and record over them LimeWire instrumentals, and they'd be like Still Dre, the next episode, and then obviously a couple grime instrumentals. They were like Stimpy and Screwface. I don't even remember them. They were
Yeah,
like, yeah. So obviously he's like he's quite a big rapper now, but like they were the instrumentals I were hopping on. So I'd definitely say, your Dre, your Snoop Dogg's, Exhibit,
yeah.
them kind of rappers at the time.
Some real legends.
Yeah, big legends.
In terms of, I think we spoke about this before. In terms of like music and local support, I
Yeah.
think we've had this discussion before, like the lack of local support for music artists. Like I've got a few people that I want on who are doing music, who are like their stuff good, do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I do think there's a problem with supporting like your local. I don't know what it is. It's like we just don't give it a chance.
Yeah, I think in a place like Hoods, I mean, not to speak down of my hometown, but I just feel like there's not, there's no one really. Well, I've never really seen anybody try and really go out and fly the flag and try and put us on the map, and then, especially in a positive light, because a lot of rap these days is very negative and very, crime based and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I feel like it's needed a new school kind of feel, but still providing a positive shine, and trying to balance that really. But I know what you're saying. It's tough to find resources to get it to fly around here, if that makes sense. Like I was working with a guy called Mills down at Unit 7, and he was very much, for the community. There was a studio down on Leeds Road somewhere. I forget the street name now, but it moved from where it was. And Mills was doing a lot of things with, the younger people in the community, getting them in, giving them free studio time, taking them off the streets, and just things like that. But then it's like, budget's there, cut short. It's tough. It's just a tough scene. His music.
Yeah. That's what I wanted. Main reason why I want to do this podcast was to try and show people in a positive light, like you say. So like there's people all over Huddersfield, and not just Huddersfield. Like I want this to branch out. I mean, everywhere, but there is people doing good things, but they don't get the recognition, and that's what this is about now. It's about, you know what I mean, people like yourself bringing you on. Right, here we go. This is Emiliano, and at the moment we're just talking about your rapping and stuff. But when we get down to your business venture and that, you know what I mean? Like hopefully that's going to inspire other people. You know what? That's possible, right? I'm going to do that then, and
Absolutely.
you know what I mean?
Just listening to somebody in it, just like listening to somebody local, especially local. Like I'm just your average guy from Huddersfield. You know what I mean? So if, like you said, if anyone can listen into this and just kind of tap in and feel like, oh, well, if he's done it, that means I can too.
Yeah.
And that's well, you might see a lot of my posts like recently. I do a lot of saying about what I've been through or what's come to test me, but things will always come around and test you no matter what scenario you're in. But you've just got to crack on. You just got to believe in yourself.
Even if you're trying to get the podcast going at 9 and you don't get it actually going to 11.
Mate, we've been trying since 9 o'clock to get this going. We're here. We're not even on Anchor. We're on Zoom.
Oh,
We're getting it done.
Jesus.
Listen to this. This is my coffee at what time are we on? 11:30 nearly. Listen. That's the coffee right now. Yeah, it's my cafetiere. Castroni coffee on tap. It's here.
My last question on the rapping thing.
Yeah.
If you could collab with one artist right now,
Ooh.
who would you collab with?
Ooh. Can it be from anywhere?
It could be, you know what, anywhere, living. Or
I would love to get in a studio with Dr. Dre. I think how could you ever fail? Bearing in mind, rapping has always been a thing for me, just to get things off my chest. I've never really looked at it as me going and trying to make a living from it. It's been very good in terms of me projecting my emotions and my feelings, what I have into pen and pad and then into a song, and listening back to it, it's like it's just a release for me, which has been very helpful over the years, because it's a form of expression. It's an art. Many people always say to me, as if you can just write music like that. I'm like, I don't really think of it like that. It's just natural. It just like I just do it.
Just rhyming words.
Just rhyming words.
Yeah.
And then a beat comes on, and I'm like, all right, I could probably do something to that. But yeah. I mean, in terms of the music, it's always been a passion of mine. I was the kid writing his lyrics on his walls, and mum would go crazy at me, and that was me. But yeah, definitely in a studio with Dr. Dre. I mean, I'm about to make it big if that happens. You know what I mean?
I'd be happy just to sit in a studio. Like I
listen.
can't rap. I just to sit there and just watch like just a tune be made. That'd be
Obviously the first time I ever, well, when I did my first Let Loose video down at Unit 7, I was like, just like skater boy, Vans on, baggy jeans, and there's many cultures in this studio booth with me, and I'm probably one of two white kids in this studio. Yeah. So you always got this thing, same as Eminem. I assumed at the time would have been like, right, I want to prove to everyone what I can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I'm capable of. Anyway, I go in and do my Let Loose video, which is on YouTube. Just a little small plug there, jokes.
Go check that out.
And then went in, did my recording, and then come out, and I'm being applauded around the studio, which it's just nice, just a nice feeling, as if to be like, okay, I'm kind of being accepted in this room as a rapper that can, that really can do it. So,
but this is it, bro, man. It don't cost nothing. Do you know what I mean? Just to give man a little bit of,
just a little bit of a boost.
It don't cost
all
nothing.
you need. I could have come out of there and no one could have said anything to me, and I'd have been like, you don't really want to ask how was that. You kind of just expect a little bit of because I like any form of criticism, any form of.
I was just gonna say, sometimes it's worse when people say nothing at all.
Nothing.
Then getting bad criticism, it's worse hearing nothing.
Even something bad is good for me, because I can like, right, cool, I can learn from that.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It's just like learning from what's bad is good. It's a positive thing.
Oh.
So yeah, man, that's the music.
I'm right in thinking you were born in Huddersfield.
Yes, I was born. So mum and dad was over in Rome, and I was conceived over in Rome. And then my mum, towards the latter end of her pregnancy, wanted to have me over here, because around the time a lot of crazy things were happening in Italy, like women giving birth and stuff. Like, there were some crazy stories, and my mum just kind of, like, I ain't taking no risks. Like, I want to get back to the the NHS and just kind of feel a bit safer, and obviously come back to a home and do it here. So yeah, born here.
And then how long did you live in Rome? How long was you in Rome for?
So I was born here, and then I think after about 2 weeks, me, mum and dad hopped on a flight back to Rome, and my life kind of begun there, really, for about, I'd say I was there for about 4 years, for my first 4 years of my childhood. So Italian was very much my first ever language that I learned. English was very much a second one when I was young.
Yeah. So then, obviously, so you're there till you're 4, and then come back to Huddersfield. Like, just give us a little bit of a background, because when I spoke to you, this was a thing. Yeah, I asked you for like a little bit of a background story, and it made but you know what it is? It made me realize that we don't talk, like, not just me and you, but people in general. We don't talk enough, because I should know this about you. And we've not had that conversation, which is mad. But I guess that's going to be a benefit of doing this as well. Do you know what I mean?
I think when you're friends, you just kind of you just expect to just live in the moment and be happy times together. We don't really tap into what we've been through, or struggles of wherever, until we get to this age where it's like, I find it really good to talk about the struggles and what I've been through. And I think it's really important, especially to tap in with your friends and let them truly get an understanding of you. So, yeah, from the age of 4 to obviously when I got here, from being born to the age of 4 when I come back, kind of a bit crazy because I'm adapting to. Obviously, got to imagine two different cultures now: the English culture and the Italian culture, very much different. The Italians are very, very family orientated. You stay at home a long time with your mum, you get looked after,
Yeah.
all the family all the time. Whereas over here, the way I grew up, I was a bit more of a free spirit. I didn't have as much. Your parents let you kind of not do as you want, but you can go around to your mate's house or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas in Rome, like, obviously we'll chat about it later on down the line, but I moved back to Rome in my later years when I was a teenager, and I was saying to my friends that I'd met, like, you want to come stop over at mine and we'll play FIFA or probably PES at the time. And my man would be looking at me weird, like, why would I do that? It's like just frowned upon. So yeah, the contrast in lives of it's been difficult to kind of bounce between both.
That's crazy. So yeah, you said you went back over when you were a teenager.
Yeah. So obviously I lived back here from 4 till about 15. So, but obviously I'd still go over every 6-week holiday in summer because my mum couldn't wait to get me off the hook and just have a 6 weeks off. Back with my dad. You're off to your dad's, right? Get gone.
Because you're writing lyrics all over a wall, that's why.
Just get this little guy out my house now. He's doing my head in.
Hit my walls, man. Get him out of here.
So I come back, fresh wallpaper. But yeah, I'd go every 6 weeks. But you can imagine as a kid, like I'd be going to Rome, where none of my relatives over there speak any word of English. So I'd have to kind of immerse into this Italian life where I didn't speak a word of English. And for 6 weeks, you have to imagine I would go over there, fully get immersed in this Italian life, and then come back to England and start in school again, And meanwhile, I'm trying to remember how to speak English again because I'd kind of forgotten it. So I had a really bad stammer as a kid. I used to stutter all the time because my head was so confused because I'd been speaking all this one language, and then I'd come to speak this other one. So at school, kids would be like, laughing at me, and I'd just be like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
And then, because you can imagine a fluent language flickering between two all the time was very tough. But now I'm very thankful of that because I stuck at it, and I've still got, I can speak fluent Italian, obviously fluent English, and read and write both. It's very much a blessing now.
Yeah. You play semi-professional football out there in Italy?
Yes. So Testaccio, which I sometimes post it here and there. It's like basically before Roma, obviously AS Roma, the team that I support, was founded. Before it was called Roma, it was called Testaccio, and Testaccio is an area in Rome where football is played. There's an old stadium there which we used to play in, and it was like you're talking before 1927, probably this Testaccio was around.
Yeah.
So my dad, obviously, when I was over there, was like, come on, I know you can play football, son. I don't know what level or whatever, but let's go try a few different clubs. And anyway, Testaccio took me on because I think at the time when I went there, a lot of the Italian kids are like, they're quite little and scrawny, whereas I was this like British lad that had come over a bit, I wouldn't say I was strapping, but I was a bit taller than the rest of them. And I had a tribal tattoo, so that automatically gave me like 10 strength points, you know what I mean? So, and yeah, I just slotted straight into this semi-pro team, and kind of like adapted to this Italian football where, obviously, in a really hot country like Rome, Italy, there's no grass pitches because all the ground is so dry. The pitches were like just a surface of mud, dry mud.
Yeah, like a
So I've
sandy
been used
type.
to playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, if it were windy and really hot, you're getting this tornado of dust in your face.
Jeez.
And like I'd come from England where it was wet, cold. You know what I mean? Man, I'm
Mhm.
shivering on pitch because it's just not the one. Over there where I'm like I'd be running past the manager and he'd get this like small bucket of water and he'd just soak me as I'm running past because he could just see I'm struggling. And he'd be like, Emiliano, and I'm like, I'd turn and look at him and just get, I just get this bucket of water in my face because you can see I'm struggling, man. But yeah,
You're a striker, yeah?
yeah, man. I used to play goalkeeper when I was about 10, 11, and then I played. I think I was up at West End at the time, and I played outfield once.
Mhm.
I must have bagged a couple because I had a really powerful shot when I was younger.
I've seen you
So
slap some goals in at 6-a-side.
yeah, don't get me wrong. Every now and again, my right peg will decide to show up and it'll let one fire.
Yeah.
It needs warming up though. Now it's getting old and ACL rupture and all that. So
Yeah, because I was going to ask you about that as well, the ACL injury, man.
yeah, the ACL that was tough to take. So that all stemmed from after I played semi-pro in Rome and come back to England because I couldn't settle over there. Just I'd lived here all my life in England, and I went over there after I'd finished school. So you can imagine, I'm trying to settle into this life, and I just couldn't adapt.
Yeah.
And I found it really hard. Obviously, England has always been my home, and it always will be. And then I come back. I remember going to play with my friends who I grew up in high school with, and they were kind of setting up a team down at the zone at a league, and I was like, oh, I'd love to get involved.
Yeah.
And come back and went down to play down at Newsham Astro at the bottom pitch, and these men were like, what have you been doing that past 18 months? And so I'd obviously developed. We were training 4 or 5 times a week, game on a Sunday. I'd just fully got into football, and I was a lot better than what I was in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And then playing down at the zone, I'm looking like Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm styling my hair like him. I'm wearing a Portugal top.
You had hair?
Oh mate, one time.
Sure.
In my prime, yeah, trust me.
Mad.
Yeah, back in my glory days. And then down at zone one day. Don't get me wrong, he used to put it about a bit and be a bit of a show off and score goals and shush the opponent. I was a little, can I swear on it? I was a little shit.
Yeah, you can swear.
So yeah, I was a bit of a cocky young lad, putting it about a bit and thinking I'm good. And then this one day we play against this older team and set of older lads, and you can see they like throw it about a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm just tearing them apart, and they don't like it. And then there's a loose ball. Me and this big guy are both running towards it. And instead of us like going shoulder to shoulder, he kind of like puts all of his body weight on me, kind of like jumps on me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And as I'm running, my leg's like stuck in the ground, and I fall on one way, and my knees just popped the other way, and I just knew instantly like that. If you've done your ACL or you've done a ligament, you hear it's like a gunshot goes off.
Jesus.
Obviously, your ligament just totally gone,
Oh,
rupturing. And I stood up and I just flopped to the ground again. I was like, something is not right here.
wow.
It really isn't. And obviously, sat down and there's literally so much give on your knee. It's just done.
Yeah.
And then went to see the doctor, and the doctor's like, yeah, you'll probably never play football again. And hearing that at 17, 18 just like broke my heart.
That's mad.
It's all I've ever wanted to, I want to be a footballer. That's every kid's dream.
Mm-hmm.
And although it might not, might not been successful, or I might not been able to do it, but I felt like if I could have kept playing, at least go semi-pro and enjoy some football.
You never know, man.
I know.
17.
You never know. Yeah, that's a young age to do your ligament. The doctor were like, you'd have been better off breaking it a couple of times. I'm like, wow. So yeah, but in hindsight, things like that put me in a bad place. But then it allowed me to focus on other things, and I just had to forget about my dreams and just put it into something else and focus on other things.
Yeah, man. So when you came back from Rome the second time, then So what is that
Yeah.
job time? Yeah, come back, get a job and that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So I
where
had to be a bit of an adult then, really, because I was,
to go?
I wasn't a kid anymore. I'd finished school. So I did a bit of it's kind of similar to what you do a little bit of now, actually. I was doing a course down at the Zone to teach kids how to play football. Because, again, football was my love, my passion. So I thought, if I can't play it, I'll, try and coach it or still be involved in it some way. So I did that for about a year. It was a very strange course. At the end of it, I didn't really get any kind of certificates. We were promised a job at the Zone, blah, blah, blah. You give all these promises at the beginning, and it turns out I got absolutely nothing from it.
The man's got some free coaching.
The man's got some free people come down and probably got some money off Kirklees College. But
Yeah.
And then, kind of had to get into something at that point, and that was when I started my time in hospitality, really. And I went and got a job, my first ever job, at DeSandro's.
Samuel L. Jackson's favourite place.
I know. Shame they
Madness.
don't give the staff tips what they've earned. I mean, that'd be really nice, because I used to make some good money down there, and they used to take it all off me. So
They
very
took your
disappointing.
tips?
Yeah. So
Oh, jeez.
yeah, and even obviously I've been back in later down the line in my life, and it's still carrying on. So
That's crazy.
I got that pally with the customers. I used to tell them, like, don't bother tipping me, because just going to take it off, mate, at this point. Like, don't even waste your money. It's just going in, someone else's pot.
Wow.
And my customers would be like, obviously, if these people were in my section that had good service from me, and it were, they really enjoyed it, say, come meet me in the toilet a second. I'm like, you what? Like, yeah, come meet me in the toilet in 5 minutes. I'm like, cool, whatever. Let's see. Anyway, go in, £20 note, boom, put that in your pocket, mate. Don't tell anybody. And because obviously they'd be looking at you whilst you're serving.
Yeah.
If you're getting these tips, so they could keep an eye on you and what you were putting in your penny at the time. Whereas if you was out of sight of the management, they couldn't really see this money that you were getting. So I'd be getting.
Oh, they're moving. Yeah, that's mad.
Oh yeah. Like a hawk. Like if I see.
Wow.
If I'd be on a section, and the table just left, the assistant manager knew immediately how much they'd left and where I put it, because he'd be like, "You've not put it in the pot yet. Where is it?" So I'm like, "Hang on a minute. I'm just doing. I mean, I'm just doing something else. I'm just putting these drinks on. I'm doing. Yeah, watch it like a hawk, mate."
Oh, that's mad. Right. So anyone watching, you ever given a tip?
Yeah, save your pennies.
Message. That's the message. But do it go to the toilet.
They're gonna have some serious traffic going into the toilet.
That's mad. Yo, this is gonna be like examiner this scandal.
Good.
That's mad. My first job, I was a pot wash at Huddersfield Town Stadium.
Oh, wow.
That was my first job, yeah. So then my friend got me this job because I've just finished. Well, no, I was at college at the time. So this pot wash, it was a joke. Don't get me wrong, because obviously it's not fun washing plates and that, but
no, absolutely not.
Because you're with everyone else, you can just have a laugh whilst doing it. So it's all right, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I finished that shift. Finished the shift at like, I don't even know what time it was. It must be like 1 a.m. And then the manager, as I'm walking out, says, "Oh, right, can you do tomorrow as well?" So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, why not? Earned a little bit of money. I thought, yeah, why not? So I turn up on the Saturday, yeah. And man takes me to the pie stand in the away stand. He says, "This is where you're working today." I went, "You're working in the..." This was Huddersfield Town versus Blackpool. And he put me in the away stand, serving pints. I'd never, ever pulled a pint in my life. Serving pints, getting pies, hot dogs. Like, luckily, it was towards the end of the season. Like, they were all in fancy dress, the Blackpool fans. And to be fair, they were top notch, because they're asking for like a pint of this. And I'm saying, "Is that this one?" I'm asking them, "Is it this one?"
I thought you were in fancy dress as well, working on a bar.
They probably did. But I got lucky, because the next week, the next home game was Millwall. By then, I'd got a job offer from the YPS, so I started working with young people. Right.
So you got out of there fast.
Yo, Millwall, that could have been me finished right there.
You see Millwall on calendar on fixture list, you're like, right, I need a job before this fixture comes around, because I am not working here.
But yeah, Yeah. Pot wash. That was my first job I
But I
did.
feel like
2 shifts, man.
you've got to start somewhere. People are so hung up on starting at the bottom as such, when really I like that whole process of, a lot of places, if you go start as a pot wash, for example, in a restaurant,
Hmm.
you go to the pot wash, and then the chef will have you chopping your veg, and then by the time you're chopping your veg, you're already on starters, and then when you're on starters, you're probably making pastas or mains, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how it works in
Yeah.
hospitality. You've got to have especially if you're really wanting to just get into something at the time being, where you can learn a handful of things in a restaurant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very much there's loads of skills to be learned, even like
Just
dealing with
working up the
people.
ladder, innit? Work up the
Yeah,
ladder.
that's
I
it.
just fell at their first step.
What for you, man? Pies and pints, what for you? Scared you off?
Pulling a pint, you've never seen so much froth. Here you go, a pint of froth. Is that what you wanted,
Can I have a flake with that, mate? Yeah,
yeah?
yeah.
Oh, trust me, like it was a good job. It was near the end of the season. I don't think any of them could do anything.
Yeah.
But like Millwall, yeah, they'd have
They're terrorized
killed
you,
me
mate.
that day. They'd
Yeah,
have
and
killed
then
me.
obviously, like, after Desandro's, I've I've done another couple of things to do with coffee, like for like Costa. I was working at Costa when I don't know, 20, 21.
Hmm.
People saying to me, "What are you working at Costa for? Dead end job, da da da." No one wants to make coffee, blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, but I enjoy it. It's what, and I don't care
Right.
whether I'm getting 5 at 1. I'm going to this place. When I make coffee, I'm going to see people. I'm going to have a good laugh, and I'm going to go home. To me, I was just, I've always loved coffee. I've always loved being around hospitality and people.
Hmm.
So again, it didn't seem to some people who was going to university or had better jobs than me, to them it probably seemed like, why is Amy going to work at Costa Coffee, when really, looking back now, that's all served a purpose to where I'm at today.
Well,
So,
that was just going to say that leads us in nicely because the next thing I've got is the Castroni Coffee Company,
yeah.
which go on. You want to tell us a little bit about how it started and that?
So, August 2020, we'll work a little bit
Pandemic
further.
times.
Yeah, so pandemic times. So, furlough times, coronavirus kicked in. Before it kicked in before August, didn't it? What we're talking, February,
Yeah.
March time,
March,
it come
wasn't it? Yeah,
around.
March.
Yeah. Um, so at the time, I'm working for a company. I've been there for 8 years. Started as a barista trainer, and took on sales, working on the accounting part, invoices, booking in stock. I then learned to run the whole company basically over the course of this time.
Just you
Um,
on your own.
yeah, but when I joined, there was 4 other staff members. But then as they left, I kind of wanted to learn their role. So I was like, don't employ no one. Let me see if I can do it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
just cracked on with it and did it. And I was doing like 3 or 4 people's jobs. Obviously not paid for 3 or 4 people's jobs, but I was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
happy learning. I'm always big on just throwing myself at it and learning, because you'll always benefit from that wherever you go if you've learned something. So
Mhm.
I picked up all these skills. I've worked hard, turning over some good money, making profit for the company. We were doing festivals, and it got to obviously February, March, and it was like, right, you're gonna have to go home, because we have to close the business at this point. Um,
Jeez.
and I'll get in touch with you. There was no talk of furlough at the time. There was no talk of anything. It was just
Yeah.
like, you're gonna have to go home, and we're just gonna have to see what happens. So imagine me going home thinking, what am I gonna do?
Mm.
Like, I was really worried.
Yeah.
And then obviously I'd be tapping into the news and just kind of listening to what they had to say. And obviously then furlough became a thing where your staff members would get 80% of the wage by being
Yeah.
at home. So I was like, great, bit more safety, bit more reassurance. But then a bit of time went by, and my director's then saying to me, "Oh, we're going to change the company name." Obviously, didn't understand why. I'm like, okay, do what you need to do. So I'd be getting a pay slip from, let's say, a company, and then a month later, another payslip would come through with a different company name on it. So things were happening in between.
Mm.
You know, I was just like, whatever. I'm just hoping at the end of this, I've still got my job,
Yeah.
etc. And then July comes round, and I get an invite back into the office. You know, let's get back into work. Things seem to be picking up again. I'm like, cool. Can't wait to get back to it. I've missed working. I've missed my clients. I've missed just doing what I love.
Yeah.
And then I go in for a meeting, and we start discussing about what's going to happen going forward. And the director then says to me, you know, from your 40 grand a year wage, we're going to put you on 20k a year basic starting. Off the bat, that was the first thing. So I'm like, wow. I mean, it can't get any worse than this. So, and then it's okay. There's going to be no company car anymore. And then you're going to be working in a warehouse, which, you know, I've never ever worked in a warehouse. I don't understand. You know, it would then take me to learn a new process and everything else. I was like, why can't I not do my old job from before? And it was like, no, none of that. So do you accept the new job offer? And I said, absolutely not. No. And his face was shocked. He thought I was going to just snap his hand off, because obviously it was testing times. Nobody knew what was going on. And even people who I was mates with, I'd you know, given back this information about what I've just witnessed, and were like, oh, just take it, man. It's like it's safe. At least you know you're getting a wage in. I'm like, but he's just halved my salary.
Yeah.
And you man think I should just go and accept what he's just putting on the table? So I just said, I politely declined. And then, you know, obviously came home to Shelley and said, look, this is what's happened. And, you know, I was distraught because I'd like become a man working for this company. And the director, obviously my dad's not been around much. He lives in Rome. So I kind of looked at this guy as like a father figure for me, and he's, you know, took me under his wing and taught me all these things. And I've loved every moment of it. And then now there's a little bit of, you know, difficulty.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do this, you're gonna make it like this, and it really hurt me. But fortunately, what happens in the coffee industry is if you become a vital member of a team and you're making a company a lot of money, it happens in other trades as well. But what the company will do is say on your contract, for example, if you leave us, you can't go work for another coffee company or another coffee roastery, and you can't take our clients, or you can't take any information that you've learned and put it into a new business. You cannot do any of that.
These men are moving like it's no loan backs.
Trust
That's
me.
fair.
You know what I mean? Like I'm top striker going to a new club. Nah,
He
man.
was. Testaccio.
Testaccio striker, slanging coffees.
Coffee slinger.
Yeah. So this contract of mine, obviously I joined the business as I used to train people how to make coffee. I never thought I'd be running a business by 23, 24. So I picked up all this knowledge. And my contract never changed, or it never said you can't go work for somebody else or you can't do anything. So when I politely declined the offer of, you know, not taking up the new job contract, I was then handing my notice in immediately. That was the plan. So declined the offer. Obviously, they managed to get out of pay me redundancy because they did everything they could to make my life difficult.
Yeah.
Which really, really messed with my head.
Can imagine.
You know, I just felt really let down by somewhere that I'd put my neck on the line for. But then it's like, from all that, you know, I thought to myself, well, I need to do something. What can I do? Coffee is what I love. You know, I don't want to leave this. I want to carry on. And I had a few names lined up because I knew I was going to stay in the coffee industry, and I knew I was going to just carry on what I'm doing, like what I love doing the most. So a couple of names, a couple of thoughts, you know, and Castroni Coffee was the only one that like had a ring to it. And I thought to myself, yeah, with my name on it, how's it going to fail really? Because I just be letting myself down. And then I'd had my notice in, and it was like a 2-week period. They said I didn't need to give 30 days. I was like, cool, just means I can crack on earlier than I thought. And my notice ended on the 16th of August, which is my birthday. So it was like, I want to say written in the stars, because I really felt like it was.
Yeah.
And, I would have never ever thought to do this on my own, because I'd always been in a good scenario, I've been looked after. And then, Castroni Coffee was born on my birthday.
That's crazy.
I then just got in touch with all the people that I've always worked with. I've always been close with in the industry. I've never left any bad apples anywhere. And I've always treated everybody with the maximum respect that they deserve. Because you never know when it could come around again and truly be in your favor. So all these people that I've been cool with, as soon as I told them, look, I've got my own brand, really good coffee, same service as always. I'll pop in, I'll chat to you guys, I'll look at your machines if you need to do. I can do it all. And they were like, you don't really need to let us know. We're always going to support you, because we've always seen you, we've always dealt with you. So,
Because you're a good person, man.
It was almost so easy to do this, because I had a lot of connections, I knew a lot of people. So and then once I got started going, that was it. It was born, and it was fully flowing, and I couldn't believe it at the time, because I'd gone from this lifestyle of safe job, same wage every month, no problem, no worries. Whereas now I'm like fully immersed in this new life where I'm, fully working for myself. It was crazy, really. And and the rest is history, really.
I'll never forget the day you came to my house and I said, "Do you want a drink?" He said, "Yeah, I'll have a coffee." And I told her I've only got decaf.
What was my face like, man?
Yeah. You were disgusted. You were disgusted.
Respect. I was like slapping me in the face.
But so, like, if you ever come again, what coffee do I need to have in? What do you drink?
I've got you. It's funny, right? Before we was gonna do this, and you messaged me, I was gonna put together for you a little like care package with some coffee in, a cafetiere, some chocolate, some chai, and I'm gonna bring it up to you. And I wanted to do, like, as we were doing the podcast, you to make the drinks, and we do like a bit of an interactive thing. But then I thought to myself, I didn't know you set up, etc. So I've got you a Castroni care package, and I'm going to bring it to you.
Yeah, come on.
And you can just share it on your social media and stuff. I don't want no money off you. I just show me some love. That's all I need. And then you don't have to worry about me coming up and giving you any daggers anymore.
The thing is, bro, I don't like coffee. But when I told you that, like, well, what have you tried? I've literally tried Nescafe.
Yeah. So
which is not a coffee.
Not really tried, have you? No.
That's what I'm saying. So hot chocolate in there, yeah? Hot chocolate in the care package.
Hot chocolate, chai, yeah.
That's me.
I'll look after you, bro.
I'll try the coffee though.
Yeah.
What do I go with next? Your tattoos. You got a lot of tattoos, bro.
Yeah.
I only really wanted to know if you've got any that are like I've got literally 2 my dad's name on my wrist. Literally just in my head, always by my side. That was kind of the thing. Do you know what I mean?
Nice,
and obviously my mum passing now.
Yeah.
It's like, when I'm playing football, I'll score a goal. Wrist.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I love the. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of tattoos out there that don't have meaning, or if you get a tattoo that you think looks cool, that is just, it's art in it. Whereas a lot of mine, they all have meaning to me. I've never really gone and got a tattoo and thought I'm just doing this, because it's all like family oriented. I've got like a portrait of my granddad on my sleeve, and the city of Rome, obviously growing up there, and Castroni on my fingers, because I'm the last male Castroni in the family, where to carry on the name. If no more male Castronis then come out, that's it. If I don't have a boy, that's it. It ends at me.
You better get pumping, boy.
I know. Well, first one was a girl, so let's fingers crossed for the next one. But they all have meaning, and they all cost a lot of money. So they've been. I just love the whole going to a tattoo studio, sorting your design out, sitting down. For me, honestly, a lot of people hate the pain and think it's awful. I think only one area for me has been the worst, which is my ribs, but the rest, I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy sitting down, just taking in each moment, and then at the end, you see this beautiful piece of artwork, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's well worth the pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you say, when it means something, especially.
Yeah, you kind of just don't. You're not bothered about the pain or whatever, or sitting there for 9 hours or such. It just yeah.
Let's talk about being a dad, man. I've been wanting to have this conversation
Wow.
because
Yeah.
you messaged me not long ago saying that you to me as a dad, like that is one of the biggest compliments that
Yeah.
anyone can give to me
Yeah.
because it's what I pride myself on
Yeah.
now.
So there's a few good men out there who I look up to
Mhm.
as fathers. Just off the top of my head, like you and Anthony, dads that I see, and I just think if I can be, you know, a small percentage of what they are for their children, I'll be more than happy. Just seeing you fully immersed as a father, and just being happy to go out and do things, and just being being creative.
Yeah.
Sitting down with them. I've seen videos of you and Jacob from when you were younger, and you reenacting the Lion King or something, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean, just stuff
Yeah.
like just being really fun. And yeah, but for me, obviously with me having a particular upbringing and going through certain things, I've kind of my childhood was always, I don't know, there's a big question mark around it for me. And until I thought to myself, when I have children, I'll kind of be able to put that to rest,
Yeah.
and truly, right them wrongs, and also just try and be a great dad.
Yeah.
Because my dad wasn't around. He was in Rome. He never really moved back over here with me, just me and my mum. So just being present in Este's life,
Yeah.
is important for me. And then yeah, just like what it's like. Just one day you're waiting for this human to come into your life, and then when they actually arrive, it's like you can't imagine life without them.
Yeah. It is. It
Isn't it
is.
crazy?
Yeah. It's mad. I
Just
literally
like
can't remember like do you know, like I can't remember going out without having to plan who's gonna look after my kids. Do you know what I mean? Where you could just like go, oh, I'm going out to town. I can't remember it. It's mad. It's mad the way it pans out. Still there?
yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
You're back.
sorry. Yeah. So just like honestly, I can't imagine now going out. Just yeah, gone, going to town. That's
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
yeah,
But yeah, honestly, it's the greatest my greatest title I've ever had is being a dad. You know.
when everyone does become a dad, I would say the same thing. It's like it's the best thing. It is the best thing that can happen to you, but it's the more challenging.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's hard.
Like you
It's
say,
hard.
you see me in a video with Jacob doing
Yeah,
Lion King, but bro, you don't see videos of me
I didn't
just
see I didn't see the
like
5-6 hours before where it's stuff and
it's.
it's
Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Jacob, you're getting the words wrong. What are you doing? Go into bed if you don't get this right now. So come on, you need to make a cute video.
You can make me look good, man.
But nah, it's the toughest job, man. Honestly,
Yeah, and we went through a really traumatic um, birth, and things didn't go to plan. And when she arrived, there was like a good 10-15 minutes of her, being resuscitated and everything
wow,
else, and it was like a small chance of me thinking, am I going to lose her? Is she still going to be with me? And even just going through that, in theatre was just. Let me just tell you the longest 10-15 minutes of my life I've ever experienced in that room.
Moses. And then
Um,
obviously you'll have done the whole COVID labour experience thing where I'm guessing you
yeah, yeah.
couldn't go in until like the
Well,
last few
no, it was
minutes.
quite good because I got to go in. So we were there for a good 24 hours before I went to theatre,
Hmm.
um, and got her out the sunroof. But yeah, they let me stay with Shelley the whole way through. So
Oh, did they?
that 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 was really much a blessing. It was more the after thing because she was in hospital for about 7 days after Esty was born. and I was only allowed in for an hour a day.
Mhm.
You know, whilst trying to bond with my child and make sure my fiance is okay.
Mm.
You know, just balancing these two things were really, really tough. I do almost think I missed out on them first 7 days and being able to bond with her and you know I wanted to get involved with feeding or
Yeah.
bathing, you know, all these things. But once I got her home after the week, you know, it was very much like, right, let's just focus on from now onwards, because it doesn't matter about what we missed out on. Let's just focus on what we have here onwards, and we just cracked on from then, really.
Yeah. That's how you got to look at it going forward
Yeah,
now, innit?
it you know it's but yeah, it was the most unbelievable emotion feeling I've ever. Oh man, I always ask a man, "Did you cry? Did you cry?" Because to me, that is, you know, if you don't cry in that room,
I cried my eyes
I
out when
cried,
Jacob was
I
born.
bawled my eyes out, bawled my eyes out. The moment they said she's here, oh, just tears, tears, and tears, and tears. I could not believe it.
Yeah, I was sobbing. My mum thought
Yeah,
something bad had happened. I was crying that much.
yeah.
She was like, "What's happened? What's happened?" And I was like, "No, he's here. He's here. He's here."
So much happiness in it, man.
Oh,
You know. So you know, if you tell me you didn't cry, I truly question yourself as a man. I'm like, show me some tears, man. I want to hear you crying. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's a very emotional time. But
yeah, it
if
is.
yeah, but honestly, the
I
best
think
thing
I
is,
don't think you realize how strong women are until you witness.
oh man,
Do
yeah,
you know
women
what I mean?
are, yeah, troopers. Like, unbelievable what their body goes through
I
to
don't
get.
think I could do it, man. Honestly, I'd be saying, "Yo, just put me
No,
to
man.
sleep, be
That's
me
why we're
open
men.
and
'Cause we
out."
we we weren't brought here to do that. We can't do that. Women are so powerful to be able to go through that. And you know, Shelley was literally walking around and trying to clean the house when she come home, and I'm like, just sit down a minute. You know, let me attempt to vac up or wipe the side. You know, I'll do a really bad job, but I'll try.
Yeah, yeah.
Women just, yeah, unbelievable.
What have you found to be like the hardest struggle you've had being a dad? Is there anything that you've struggled with?
Um, yeah, just kind of like knowing if I'm doing enough.
Yeah,
You know, I'll always ask
yeah,
Shelley, I'm like, am I doing okay? Do you need me to do anything? Is there anything I could do more to, you know, to make it better? Or am I doing okay? That's what I always ask her. Because I think rather than just go along with the thought in your head of, am I doing enough? I think if you ask your partner and just be upfront and honest, because I do think communication within your relationship is 100% the most important thing ever, because
yeah, yeah,
if there's a breakdown in that, you're never going to know where you're at, you know?
yeah. That's
So
true.
I always ask Shelley, I'm always like, am I doing enough? Am I okay? You know, could I do anything more? And it's always positive. But I would definitely say that's a big worry
Yeah,
uh, of
and
being
you
in
know
this
what? I don't
relationship.
think it stops because like there'll be
No,
times, obviously, like, if Jacob White have done something wrong,
yeah,
and you have to tell them. You know what I mean? You tell them off. You
yeah,
always question yourself afterwards, like, was that too harsh? Was that harsh
hmm
then? Are they gonna like I've done like brain science training and all that behind kids and stuff. Thinking, oh my
yeah.
God, have
You've
I
all
just
screwed up on that
have I just emotionally battered my child now? He thinks he's not good enough or something. You know what I mean? Like I always worry about that kind of stuff.
because it's
But
such a grey area, and it's so hard, and it's a touchy subject when you don't. You know, me and you might have been told by our parents a certain type of way,
mhm.
which was way harsher than we'll ever tell our kids.
But
But
yeah,
we've turned out okay, you know. And I think like I've already clocked it with a dog. We got the dog um, around COVID times, and I seem to be the one telling her off all the time.
yeah,
And Shelley's like, oh, you know, never tell her off. So I think with the kids, it's going to be me being the disciplinarian, which I don't mind, because you know all kids need some kind of uh, some kind of discipline as such. It don't mean smacking. It don't mean shouting, as you
yeah.
know.
Just need to know what's
But
happening.
there's just certain ways and means to get through and explain to a child that what they're doing is not, you know, not right, or it needs to be different. There's
Yeah.
ways and means, isn't there?
The thing is, if I ever have a go at Jacob or Ella, I'll always make sure that I'd like You know what I mean? Like you need to calm down yourself before you proper
Yeah.
have a conversation. No, I was angry because you know what I mean? So
Never act on emotion really, because that's when you're probably going to overreact, or you're probably going to shout a little bit louder. I think always take a breather on something
yeah.
and then go back to it, which I never used to do. I always used to act in the moment, which has never helped me.
Mm-hmm.
And just sometimes you need to kind of assess where you perform the best. Like if something's angered you at this point, it's really pointless then going and trying to adjusting something whilst being angry, because it's just not going to be the same outcome as if you was level-headed,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But you only learn that by growing older and learning things, don't you?
Well, this is it. The thing is, you're never the perfect dad. That's the thing. No
Never
matter
get,
how
and
many
you're all
times someone tells you that you're brilliant,
no. And someone's
always
always
a
got a comment about what you should be doing or whatever. But honestly, I always say to people, just do what's right for you. Don't like my bless her, my grandma tried giving me all these tips. I'm like, Grandma, you parented 55 years ago.
yeah, yeah,
Things have come on a bit since then.
definitely changed it.
You know, you guys were feeding kids from a beaker. You know what I mean? Giving them
Mm-hmm.
milk. Like things have come on a little bit since then.
Yeah,
So again, it's like just do what works for you and don't do what other people think works for you. If that makes sense.
yeah. Another feeling that is unrivaled is when you ask someone to take a picture of you carrying the baby out in the car.
Oh yeah. For me, that one was like, when you just fully stepping into the world together and like
That's just like, yeah, that's like where
life
it
starts
starts, in
now.
it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is, it is, it is.
The moment I left them doors, I'm like, this is it now. Life life will change. The
Fresh
moment I step
airs hit
out,
you. That's it. Here we go.
life changes forever from this moment. I
Yeah.
know when they're born, obviously, but when you step out into the real world, the big bad world as such, you're out there
Mm-hmm.
and you're putting your kid in the car seat for the first time, which I did lots of practice in my car seat because I like to know what I'm doing. I didn't want to get her in the car, and, trying to put her in the car seat and her shaking everywhere. I like to be
Yeah,
kept ahead.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I've done all my practice, and we got her to the door, and I literally clicked in the car seat straight out, and I'm like, phew, that was good first time. You know what I mean? She's in, and
Yeah.
off we went, off beginning our lives together, and what we at now, I think she's just short of 11 weeks old, and time, well, you'll know what it's like with your own children. Time just flies.
Doesn't slow down, man.
I'm watching videos of her when she was born, and she looks so different.
Yeah.
I'm getting little smiles now. She's laughing a little bit, and it's like, it's just another thing as well. Like I did this the same when I was younger. You want to kind of be 16 and be 18 and be 21,
Yeah.
but you don't truly live in the moment.
Yeah.
So I kind of
Yeah.
just trying to slow and just take every moment as it comes, and just don't wish anything away, really.
Yeah.
Which,
Bruv,
yeah,
you've not disappointed this episode.
thank you, man.
Like I knew exactly what I wanted from it and even more. So
And it's
um
been so
go on.
tough to get this going, hasn't it? It's been like,
No, but you know what? The fact that you stuck around, like some other people would have gone, you know what, it's 10
yeah,
o'clock now, goes like an hour's past. Let's just leave it. Like I was the one doing it. I was saying let's just leave it. You was the
no,
one
no.
still saying, let's keep trying.
Because,
Let's
this
keep
is
trying.
important for you, and it's important for me to, if anyone is going to listen and take anything from it, or it's going to benefit somebody, like it's very much important to
Yeah,
me as
man.
much as it is for you as well to get it out there. And that's why I sent that last text message. I'm like, let's go, let's have it, kind of thing. We can do it, no problem.
Yeah. I always end the pod with three questions.
Yeah.
So the first one, if you could invite any three celebrities, living or dead, round for dinner, who would you pick and what are you having?
So I'll tell you the people that I'd pick. Obviously, with me being, multilingual at this point, I can have Italian and I can have English people. So,
Mm-hmm.
let me just do my multilingual thing, because Francesco Totti's got to pull up at my table when I'm eating.
Shock.
I think
What a legend, to be fair, though.
anybody
What a
listening,
baller.
knowing it's me, knew that would come in anyway.
Yeah.
Just to be able to speak to him and just understand why he stuck at the club all his career, and to truly speak to a Roma icon who I've looked up to my whole life and who I've kind of shaped my footballing style around now. You'll see it when I play. I model myself on him as such.
Yeah. Just to tell him how lucky he was that you'd done your ACL as well.
Yeah, innit? Thank you.
You know what I mean?
I think I wear his shirt as well at times. Next, I'm going to go for Jim Carrey.
Ledge.
Because to truly be able to speak to him, and obviously he's the funniest guy ever. Watch all of his films and laugh my head off. Although he's got some serious films as well, which I also love.
Yeah.
But just to truly tap into a mind of his, and you probably see a lot of his quotes and the way he speaks now on interviews and stuff.
He's a genius.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like being able to, listen to him and see what he's got to say now after being through the whole acting career thing. Is a bit older now. It's just, I think being able to chat to him would be really, really good. And then my favorite music artist, obviously rest in peace, he passed away a few years ago now, Mac Miller. I truly, kind of styled myself and on him from being in my early 20s, listening to his music, and I just kind of started wearing Vans and listening to his music and just truly like wanting to be like him. And I don't realize how much inspiration I took from him at the time.
Yeah.
And as I've grown up and I've still listened to his music, and it's music that I listen to now, where from darker times in my life, where I didn't realize was really pulling me through these tough periods. And his music like helped me through these dark times, really. So I'll always be thankful for that. And what would I be eating would be obviously my nonna from Rome, which is grandma in English. She would always cook up a storm in the smallest kitchen you could ever imagine. She would make the best food you've ever tasted in your life, just pure heart and soul in food. And obviously she passed away a couple of years ago now, so I would have loved, if I could have anything, it would be her cooking for me, maybe a pasta dish. And she made a really mean steak with some king prawns in there too. Garlic and chili king prawns, they'd got to be there too. So yeah, I wouldn't really. I could maybe ask for another couple of things in there what she'd like to cook, but I'd probably just let her crack on and do what she does best, and
just see what comes out.
But it'd be definitely my nonna's food.
Next question. Give me one, and Rodney give me about a 10. To give me one recommendation.
Say that again.
One Netflix recommendation.
One Netflix. Okay. See, I thought of loads, but the one thing that I've watched, and I've ended up watching a few times now because I just love it, and I can tap into any episode and really enjoy it, is The Last Dance by Michael Jordan.
Good, yeah?
Oh, man. Have you not seen it?
Oh, Last Dance. Oh, the documentary. Of course. Yeah, of course. What a documentary.
What a documentary. Just start to finish. Just,
different level of athlete that, innit?
Yeah. Just like, and getting to know his teammates, and, as much as it's like all about him, he shines a light, on Pippen and Dennis Rodman and all them lot. Like, he shines a torch on them lot as well, because it's not, they helped him get to where he needs to be as well. Obviously, his own performances put him in there, but I'd definitely say, if people listen, if you haven't seen it, even if like you're not massively into basketball, because I've never really been massively into basketball, but obviously, Michael Jordan, I watched Space Jam when I was a kid, and I just thought,
I think it's more just a mindset thing, innit? Like, just for his mindset, man.
Understanding a true athlete, and what was he tapping into, and even like when he was saying, when he was kind of hoping someone would say something bad to him or something. He could keep in his head where it's like, right, I need to get one up on him now because they've said this. Just having that all the time is just, I think, definitely The Last Dance. I mean, Michael Jordan's, definitely.
And then the last one, what's one piece of advice you'd give to your younger self?
Well, I spoke a bit about it earlier actually, and it's like to live in the moment more, and enjoy your time, and like soak in each experience, as we were speaking about earlier. You know, well, I kind of mentioned it the same with when you have a kid, you like wanting him to grow older and see things, like same as, you know, when you're 16, you want to be 18, then you want to be 21, and then you want to be 25, and then it's like, shit, where's the time gone? What was I doing in them years when I was wishing for the time I'm at now?
Yeah.
You know, rather than truly being able to sit in the moment and soak it all in, and just take your time, I think is what I would have said to my younger self, rather than worrying about the next jump or the next step, or, you know, that's definitely it. I would definitely say live and enjoy each moment a lot more.
I think it's harder with mobile phones. I'm so bad with my phone.
Oh man, I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm like on my phone and I'm like, oh, but kids are doing that. Why are you not? I'm literally telling myself in my own head, why are you not there doing that with them?
Yeah, and it's hard. It's the pressures of, you know, being a parent or whatever. You like you said, you're always going to question yourself and what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. But trust me, me and you spoke about it before, haven't we? Like, sometimes you just give yourself a pat on the back for what you actually are doing and not worrying about what you're not doing as such.
Yeah.
And that's when, you know what I mean, you can truly appreciate things a bit more.
I've got a bonus question for you actually.
Oh, a bonus question.
So yeah, well, obviously you're saying you've lived England and Italy.
Yeah.
Who was you supporting in the Euros Cup final?
You need to answer that question, because I got a lot of hate, man. Oh my god, everyone was my friend till that final, man. And then you, man, scored early doors, and I'm like, holy shit, this could be bad, because didn't England score in like first
Early.
10 minutes?
You must have
Early
been, yeah.
doors.
Luke Shaw, yeah.
And I'm thinking, Italy can't handle it. We're struggling. But yeah, obviously from what I'm saying here, I have to support Italy because I'm a Roma fan from birth, and my dad's side is obviously Italian, which is what has, you know, put me into football, and that's what got me into football from the start, is my Italian side of the family. So I've always, since being the kid in high school, having the Italy shirt on, being laughed at because, you know, Castroni rhymes with macaroni, and, you know, it wasn't an easy name to walk around with. But I've always flown the flag of being Italian. Like I've never shied away from that. I've never ever been shy doing it. But yeah, I unfortunately supported Italy. I'm gonna have to come to terms with that. And
you'd have answered differently if England won.
Listen, it's win-win for me regardless.
Yeah.
That's I was going to a final, not losing. Imagine
Bro,
how good that.
I've
that
never thought it was coming home so much in my life.
Do you know what? It was, if any time was deserved, was this time. Like, such a young, fresh squad, like hungry. You know, the nation like probably needed this, you know, injection of, you know, emotion, passion, all these things. And I just thought it would. Personally, I was like, if England win, obviously I'm not going to be upset that England have won. I'm happy for England to win. And I just thought it would be really good for the country, etc. But for me, Italia all the way, I'm afraid.
It's all right. We'll win the World Cup anyway.
You got to win something soon, because it's been since what, 1966.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a World Cup win. You know, I'm happy. I've seen a Euros and a World Cup now.
Yeah. Bro, like I said, it's been a pleasure, man.
Thank you for having me on as well, bro. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
No, like I said to you, like respectfully, this podcast is not just about getting people on that are, you know, really, really well known. It's about getting people well known out there as well. Do you know what I mean? So
absolutely. And I hope, like, I've, you know, shone a bit of a light on tapping into my mind and the way I think a little bit, and the way I've tackled things, and, you know, come out the other end still just putting my all into stuff and just trying to make things happen. Just if you are in the same shoes as me, or if you've been someone who's gone through some struggle, and you're truly getting into something, just don't give up. Do give it your all, and be consistent, and you will see positive outcomes. Like kind of like you with what you're cracking on with now.
Yeah.
Again, tonight we have been consistently trying to get this going, but we've done it. It's 12:30 now. I've got to get up tomorrow and get the business going. You've got to get up tomorrow, get the kids ready, get to school.
Yeah.
But we do it, don't we? Like that's what it's about.
This is it. We're here. Yeah. Can you just do an outro for me? Can you say, this has been the Dozcast. Thank you for listening in Italian.
Yeah. Questo è stato il Dozcast. Grazie mille per avermi sentito.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
I've been Doz. This has been Emiliano on the Dozcast. It's been a pleasure, bro. Take it easy, yeah?
You too, man.
Later, bro.
Later, brother. Bye-bye.